Florida Congressman Greg Steube and my dear friend General Keith Kellogg, former Trump administration national security advisor. You know, Keith Kellogg, first of all, the IDF had another preemptive strike in Hezbollah. The IDF took out the Hamas guy in downtown Tehran or wherever. I don't know. I know it's everyone says they're going to come, and we're going to read a list of targets in just a moment that Iran has apparently published. But then again, you know, you have the IDF factor, which is a Trump factor. It's not a Biden factor, but they're basically saying to these guys, we got your cell phone and we know your home address. And if you act up, we're going to take you out. And I think that's a pretty good deterrent. What do you think, Keith Kellogg? I mean, Iran must know this. They just got hit again. One of their top Hezbollah people got hit in Lebanon, for heaven's sake. Does that amount to nothing?
Yeah, Larry, thanks for having me on such a slow news day. Look, here's what deterrence is all about. Deterrence is based on credibility, and underlying credibility is capability and will. What Israel has shown to the Iranians and to Hezbollah and the entire world is they've got credibility because they have the political will and the capacity, capability to go attack targets deep. Look what they did in Yemen with the Houthis. Look what they did during the big barrage a little over a month ago when they went after targets in Iran. Here's what Israel needs to make very, very clear to the world and to the Iranians. If you strike and you kill Israelis, the supreme leader is on our target list. You tell Hassan Nasrallah, who's the leader of Hezbollah, you are on our target list, and you remind the Iranians that we will come after your nuclear facilities like Isfahan or places like that, and we're going to come. And they've built in a little bit of credibility there in the sense of deterrence, because now the Iranians know they can respond to that. And that's what they need to tell them. And here's the final thought on that. The United States needs to relay through the protective power, which is the Swiss, because we don't have diplomatic relations, in the Russians. We back Israel 100%.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
And let's see where it goes.
No, I get that. Greg Steube, I want to hear from you a second. Please, I want to play this very brief clip of President Biden over the weekend.
Mr. President, do you think Iran will stand down? Do you think Iran will stand down, sir?
I hope so. We don't know.
All right. I don't know. I hope. I don't know, Greg Steube. Is that a response? What is that supposed to mean? I mean, I don't get any of that. That is not an American president.
No, and it says a lot about him as a leader. I hope so. I don't know. I mean, you're the commander-in-chief of the largest military in the world. You're the commander-in-chief of the president of the United States, and you don't know, and I hope so. I mean, it's the same kind of lip service that they gave earlier in the year when the Iranians attacked, and, oh, don't do it, and they went ahead and did it. So obviously the Iranians aren't listening to Joe Biden. And let me remind your viewers that the Biden administration created this. They opened up billions of dollars to the Iranians through relief of sanctions and all sorts of things that have allowed them, the Iranians, to give money to Hezbollah, give money to Hamas, that has enabled all of this war. When Donald Trump was president, you didn't have war in the Middle East, you didn't have war in Ukraine, and you do now because of the policies, the foreign policies of this administration. And I think it should be clear, just like the general said, that we stand with Israel. We're going to back them 100%. If they're attacked, we're going to be there to defend them. And if you send that message strongly, then the Iranians will back off. But that's not the current occupancy of the White House.
Just to read this is Benny Abney writing in the New York Sun. He's a veteran foreign policy journalist covering Israel. The Islamic Revolutionary Guards on Monday said they're going to hit Ben Gurion Airport, they're going to hit Israeli train routes, the Haifa seaport, and other infrastructure targets. Yeah, they can say that. They can say that, Greg, but if this government would have something tough to say, maybe they'd think twice. But the IDF can take them out all over the place. That's what's been proving here. That's the deterrence, is the IDF.
Yeah, not only the IDF, but the Jordanians that have defended them when in April the Iranians attacked, all of our warships that are nearby that can strike all of these missiles as they come across. And I'm sure the general can talk about military tactics, but to send to your enemy telegraph to them and tell them what you are not going to attack, and whether you attack it or not, what type of signal that sends as far as strength is very interesting that they would do that.
Yeah, very, very odd. We'll pick this up later in the week or as results come through. Keith Kellogg, thanks a million. Greg Steube, we appreciate it very, very much.